Hey, you guys, thanks for listening into this episode of Tips with T. On today, I have Mr. Brian with us. Hey, Mr. Brian, how you doing?
Great. How are you doing, T?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much today for being a guest on the show. So tell us a little more about yourself and what you do.
I'm 61 years of age. I've been in business now for 40 years, the very same business that I started back in 1981. And at the time, I was working as a shipper receiver for a sporting goods company. And although I enjoyed the work, I couldn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. And I decided, well, I would love to be able to work for myself. But the problem was, what do I do? I didn't have a lot of money. I barely graduated high school, so I didn't go to college, not many skills. So I started looking at things I would be willing to do and things that I would not be willing to do. And one of the things I always enjoyed was being outdoors, working outdoors. And so I started looking at different type of opportunities that might be available to me. And I remembered that my father, who had just recently passed away at the time, he often did a number of side gigs. Back then, though, it was called moonlighting or spare time jobs. But he would clean up litter from a neighborhood shopping plaza just a couple blocks away from our family home, just to make some extra money to supplement his income as a caretaker or a janitor. And he'd taken me along with him a couple of times, and I thought, wow, this is really easy work. It's almost as easy as going for a walk or getting paid for it. And all we did was show up before the stores opened in the morning and just walk the property, the sidewalks, the parking lot, surrounding landscape, and clean up any litter material we found into our litter collection tools. And so just in the time it took to walk the property, we would be done. And so off he went to work, and I'd go home and get ready to go to school. And so I had that memory, and I decided to test the market for that service to see if there's anything to it. Could I make a livelihood, a business out of that? And so I started making some phone calls, cold calls, if you will. And back in the day, there wasn't an internet. There was just a big, fat, yellow page telephone directory. So I let my fingers do the walking, as they said back in the day. And I started contacting property management companies. And make a long story short, although this is already kind of long, I both 4 or 5 phone calls in, a property manager said, "We'd love to have you go out, take a look at a couple of our properties, get back to us with some prices and see what happens." And I did, and got the contracts for 2 properties. And that's when the school of hard knocks began. And it all started with those first 2 properties.
Awesome, awesome. So, what tips will you give to get started with the business?
Well, I mean, I guess with this business, you just need to be willing to work outdoors and do the work. Um, it's really quite that simple. I eventually shared my experience in my book, which I wrote called "Clean Lots: America's Simplest Business." But basically, you just need to provide extra value and do what you say you'll do, and you'll be successful. It's really quite that simple, actually.
Awesome. And I know you do talk about tips about the low hanging fruits. So tell us more about that.
Well, when people are starting this business, oftentimes they think they've got to go out and spend more money than they really need to get started. And one of those things is like a big fancy website.
Mhm.
And although a website is recommended, and at some point you should have one, when you're first starting out, especially on a shoestring or you're bootstrapping your business, the first things you should do is claim those free listings on the search engines, like Google My Business, for example. They have um, 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 not an application, but basically all you can do is register your business online by just googling Google My Business, and it's pretty simple. And you instantly have a profile where prospects are able to find you.
Mhm.
And all the other search engines have that, but there's the other online directories, many of which are free. Just get a basic listing, and then in addition to your marketing efforts where you're going out and trying to find prospects, if people are trying to find you, they're able to do that because now you have a presence.
Yeah. I always that's a good idea. I always take advantage of the free sources first, see how those work for you, and then you can, when you get to where you need to be, you can gradually build on those sources that you already have, as far as like creating a website and things of that nature. Because that's one of the things I did too when I first started off. I gotta Google my business page, so just to get it listed, and then worked on the website, because websites, they can be expensive.
Yeah, and oftentimes, there are various platforms, GoDaddy, Wix, or whatever, and they provide tutorials, and you can set up a basic profile. I mean, that's all good and dandy, but you have to make sure that the main elements are on that website. Services. This is what we can do for you. Sell the benefits, not the features.
Mhm.
And but there's other ways too to build the business, and a lot of it is willing to um, um, get out there, put yourself in the public eye, and make yourself known, and having that patience and persistence, and to make your business work, whatever it may be. But what we did is, like, we started out with those first two properties, and over the years I scaled it from a successful one-man operation into one now that employs an army of people to do the parking lot litter cleaning for us. And we've scaled up to about 650,000. I think our best year ever was $705,000 a year, and that's just simply cleaning up litter outside commercial properties for property management companies.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, I'm a good example of, if I can make a business work by having the passion, the patience, and the persistence, pretty much anybody else can as well. And so that's why I created my book, and I'm willing to provide free support to anyone who wants to start a business similar to mine.
Awesome. So, tell us, how were you able to go from being a part-time business owner to full-time within your business?
Okay, well, I mean, I recommend everyone, when they're starting a business, is to start it as a side gig or side hustle, and it's the cheapest way and the quickest way to get that experience, to at some point decide, what, I'm becoming successful. I've grown my client base, and now I have to make that decision. Do I want to keep it as a side hustle, or do I want to grow it into a full-time business? And you'll know when you start getting requests for more and more of your services or products, whatever, and then you have to make that decision. Okay, well, am I going to, devote my full-time efforts to this business, or keep it as a side hustle? But in my case, I guess I became a victim of my success. My clients were so happy with the service I was providing. They kept contacting me and asking for more of me, and there's only so much of me. So I had to decide, okay, am I going to take this full time? And we found that there's a lot of people out there that are looking to make extra money and willing to do something as simple as this before they go to work in the morning. And so we started recruiting a number of people to do this for us on a part-time basis, which enabled us to grow the business. And as we became more and more successful, we started adding more people that started working for us full time, or maybe some people that just wanted to work part time and provide the weekend service for us. And that was a way that we were able to quickly grow and scale our business over the years.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I definitely started my business when part-time, but then when gradually, as the demand came high, and then I realized I kind of just really want to work for myself full-time, I had to make that decision. So I completely understand. And I'm kudos to you for your business growing the way it did, and getting it to be full time. And I know one time, I know we had talked before, about, when you first started out, how you was like an introvert or whatever, and you had to reach out to people in order to get your business out there. So um were you how were you able to overcome being an introvert as a business owner, so you can increase your clientele?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, and I don't think it's really an accident I fell into this business, because of the actual work involved or the service provided, would be ideal for an introvert or someone who enjoys working by themselves. And it's after hours, so there's not a lot of people out there. The businesses are closed. There's not a lot of traffic. I can just go out and do my work, and when I'm finished, go home. But when it comes to marketing the business for as an introvert, I found it fairly easy because it was something I was passionate about. I'm not basically contacting people and just trying to start small talk. There's a big difference here. What I'm trying to do is share my passion and share the benefits of my service with these people and say, look, this is how my service can be a benefit to you, and I would like to share more information about it. And one of the key reasons for our business success over the years, I think, is providing that communication, and it's pretty simple. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, if for example, when we're out cleaning the properties and we notice that somebody has dumped some furniture in the back of the building, or there's some the building's been freshly tagged with a graffiti, or the lights are burnt out, or they didn't come on for some reason that night, we just simply communicate those issues with our clients, and it's really quite that simple. And they really appreciate that from us, and it helps us establish a relationship and are able to grow our business with those same clients.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us more about your book, the title of it. Where can we get your book from?
Okay, well, you can get, if you go to my website, cleanlots.com. I recommend a lot of people, start out on the homepage. There is a free report that they can download, which basically puts it to them. Is this an opportunity right for you? Because, I think, it isn't for everyone, I'll be honest. And there's also a brief 3-minute video that people can watch to get a really good idea of what type of service and how easily it is to perform it. Shows me walking an actual property while cleaning up the litter. But the book is available at cleanlots.com. But yeah, there's a wealth of information besides that on the website as well.
Awesome. And Mr. Brian, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm going to share your social media handle so you can tell people how to get in contact with you if they would like, how they can render your services.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that. Thanks, T.
Okay, so tell everyone how they can get in contact with you, Mr. Brian, if they would like to.
Well, I mean, I do have profiles on LinkedIn, and I do have a company Facebook page. But the best way actually is just to go directly to my website at www.cleanlots.com.
Awesome. And make sure y'all check out his book. Make sure you definitely check it out. I'll make sure I'll check it out. And if you guys want to get in contact with me, you can do so. My number is 910-317-0396. You can email me at contact@mjfinancial.biz. You can visit the website to schedule a consultation, www.mjfinancial.biz. You can find this episode on Anchor, you guys, and you can also find this episode of the video on the YouTube channel for MJ Financial Management. So thank you again, Mr. Brian, for being on the show again today. I highly appreciate you sharing your knowledge and tips.
Well, great. Thanks, T. It was a pleasure being here.
It was a pleasure having you. And you guys, we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.